Have you ever wondered how to truly connect with an older Christian woman in a way that's gentle, respectful, and deeply meaningful? Many women of faith, especially those who are more mature, carry years of love, wisdom, and experiences. But sometimes they also carry long seasons where they haven't felt truly seen, cherished, or gently pursued. This video is here to help you awaken that forgotten spark, not through charm or empty words, but through intentional, God-honoring gestures that speak to her heart and spirit. Older Christian women carry their dignity like a crown. Many of them have lived through seasons of heartbreak, loss, and renewal. They're not drawn to flashy gestures or shallow flattery. What captures their heart is what you will find out on this video. Kindly stay to the end. Before we go further, let's be clear. This is not a guide for manipulation. It's about a reality every older, especially Christian women, never speak out about. We will begin softly, and the two last will blow your mind. Touch point number 1. The lower back. Why the lower back is so powerful. At first, the lower back may not seem like a special place, but when touched with care and gentleness, it speaks volumes to a woman's heart, especially to a Christian woman. The lower back is where we often hold tension, both physical and emotional. It's also a place that naturally responds to guidance and closeness. When a man touches a woman's lower back with grace and respect, it sends a message: you are safe with me. This kind of touch is not about control or dominance. It's about presence. It says, I'm here to support you, not to push or pull you. When done right, it creates a quiet comfort that lingers longer than words. What are the moments to use this touch? There are moments in everyday life where this kind of touch feels natural and appreciated. Picture this. You're walking together into church, and the hallway is crowded. You gently place your hand on the small of her back to guide her. You're helping her into or out of the car and offer a soft touch for balance. You're walking side by side and need to subtly slow her down or protect her from a bump in the path. These are small windows, everyday moments that can be turned into something meaningful. They don't demand attention, but they offer quiet assurance. In the right moment, they say, I've got you. You don't have to walk alone. Let me show you how to execute it with subtlety. The key to this touch is lightness and awareness. You're not grabbing, you're not holding, you're gently resting your hand in a way that offers care, not control. Your fingers should barely press. Think of it as placing your hand just enough to be felt, but never enough to make her feel uncomfortable. It should feel natural, not forced. You might only keep it there for a moment, just long enough to offer presence, then pull away with grace. And most importantly, always be alert to her body language. If she pulls back or seems unsure, respect that without hesitation. As Christian men, our job is to protect, not pressure. Touch point number 2, the nape of the neck. In case you don't know, the nape of the neck is a gateway to intimacy. The nape of the neck, the soft area just below the hairline, is one of the most sensitive parts of the body. God created it with a unique ability to respond to gentle touch, not just physically, but emotionally. For a Christian woman, especially one who values emotional purity and trust, this area is sacred. It represents openness and closeness. A light, respectful touch here can awaken a deep sense of being cared for, if approached with kindness and spiritual maturity. Touching the neck or nape must be done with extreme respect. This is a vulnerable place. For many Christian women, it's a private part of their body that they do not want touched without trust, care, and emotional safety. If you reach for this area before she feels safe with you, it may feel like you're overstepping. But if your relationship is built on trust and the moment is sincere, this touch can feel like a gentle whisper of love. You are not just touching her skin, you're touching her trust. That is sacred. Always approach with humility, never pride. When and how to touch the neck. There are only a few special times when a neck touch is appropriate. One such moment might be during a prayerful hug, when your hand rests behind her head, your fingers gently touching the nape. Another might be when you're brushing something off her shoulder and your hand briefly glides past her neck. These moments must be rare, meaningful, and always led by respect. If she pulls back or seems unsure, honor that immediately. A godly man knows that true intimacy comes from spiritual unity first. Your goal is never to excite her, but to assure her that she's known, safe, and cherished. When the heart is right, even a light touch can feel like a blessing. Touch point number 3. The arm. When two people are having a meaningful conversation, sharing joys, concerns, or even laughter, there's a beautiful kind of closeness that forms. Sometimes in those moments, a light touch on the arm can say, "I'm here, I'm listening, I care." For a Christian woman, emotional connection often matters more than anything physical. She wants to feel understood and safe. A gentle touch on the arm, placed with care during an honest conversation, can gently reflect that understanding. The arm is a safe and socially acceptable place to touch when done with the right spirit. It should never feel forced or rehearsed. Instead, it should come from a place of genuine interest. For example, you're walking side by side, and she says something heartfelt. You lightly touch her arm and say, "That means a lot. Thank you for sharing." That small, respectful gesture, combined with warm words, can carry more emotional weight than many realize. It reminds her that you're present and emotionally engaged, not just physically near. The arm carries emotional symbolism. It represents strength, action, and movement. But when you touch her arm gently, it can reflect calm, connection, and care. To a Christian woman, it may say, "You're not alone. I see you and value what you're saying. I'm emotionally present with you." And that is a powerful message. Touch point number 4. The knee. This is an unexpected spot for intimacy. At first glance, the knee might not seem like a common place to touch. Yet, in the context of a genuine relationship, it can hold a surprising amount of emotional weight. The knee is an area often overlooked, but when touched with care and respect, it can create an intimate connection that goes beyond physical attraction. This touch is not about making someone feel uncomfortable or crossing boundaries. It's about showing attention to the person and being present in a way that's gentle and kind. When the touch on the knee is respectful, it becomes a subtle yet powerful way to communicate closeness and emotional warmth. The knee, while a subtle and somewhat unexpected place for touch, carries a strong emotional meaning when handled with grace. It's the kind of touch that speaks volumes without saying a word. A gentle touch here can reflect emotional stability and a connection that doesn't rush or force intimacy. Think of it like the steady presence of God in our lives, calm, unwavering, and always offering a feeling of security. For Christian women, such a gesture reassures them that you care deeply, not just about their outward appearance, but about them as whole persons. Touch point number 5. The waist. The waist is a symbol of closeness. The waist is an intimate yet neutral space, often associated with closeness and connection. When touched with care, it has the ability to convey a deep sense of trust, affection, and emotional warmth. In the context of a relationship, especially a Christian one, the waist represents a space where you can express protection and genuine affection without crossing boundaries. For Christian women, touch on the waist should always be about communicating closeness without rushing or pressuring. It's a space that can hold a lot of meaning, a gentle reminder that you are there, emotionally present and committed to the connection. This touch is a simple yet powerful expression of affection, showing that you value her as a person with respect and dignity. The waist, while an intimate area, should never be touched with the intention to provoke or manipulate. Christian relationships are founded on mutual respect, not on pursuing physical desire above emotional and spiritual connection. It's important to strike a balance between expressing affection and maintaining respect for each other's boundaries. As you touch her waist, be mindful of your intentions. This touch is not about increasing physical attraction. It's about showing that you are present, emotionally engaged, and committed to the relationship in a pure and godly way. Scripture reminds us in 1 Corinthians 13:4-5, the waist is not only important in romantic or dance settings, it can also be a meaningful place to touch in everyday, quiet moments. Whether you're walking together, sitting close, or sharing a simple activity, placing your hand on her waist can offer reassurance and comfort. In these moments, the touch can be soft and simple. It's about showing her that you're there and that you care. This is not a display for the world to see, but a quiet affirmation that she's important to you. For Christian women, this kind of touch reminds her that she's not only loved, but cherished and respected. It mirrors the love that Christ has for his church, a love that is steadfast, kind, and protective. By placing your hand gently on her waist, you're reinforcing the emotional bond that comes from sharing life together with respect and care. Touch point number 6, the hands. Holding hands is one of the most timeless and universally recognized gestures of affection. It's simple yet profound, a physical sign of connection and togetherness. For Christian relationships, holding hands is a sacred gesture, symbolizing not only affection, but also unity in Christ. In a relationship, holding hands is a way to say, "I'm with you through thick and thin." It's not about the desire to dominate or control, but about sharing your lives with each other. Just as important as the physical act of holding hands is how your partner responds to it. Paying attention to how she reacts to your touch is key to understanding the emotional depth of your connection. Does she relax into your grip? Does she reciprocate by squeezing your hand in return? These subtle signs can give you insight into her emotional state and how comfortable she feels in your presence. Remember, as a Christian man, it is your responsibility to ensure that the touch is always respectful and considerate. A gentle touch should always invite openness and trust, not pressure or discomfort. By being sensitive to her response, you are reinforcing the mutual respect and care that should be the foundation of any relationship. Holding hands doesn't only have to happen in private. In fact, one of the most beautiful aspects of this gesture is that it can deepen your bond in both public and private settings. Whether you're walking together in a park, sitting in a church service, or even enjoying a quiet moment at home, holding hands in public can show that you're proud to be with her and that your bond is strong and unashamed. For Christian couples, holding hands in public is an outward expression of the commitment and love you share. It's a way of honoring your relationship before others and showing that your love is not just private, but something you're willing to share with the world. In private, holding hands can deepen your emotional connection, providing comfort and closeness in everyday moments. The wrist is a delicate and often overlooked area that can carry a great deal of sensuality and romantic allure. In a relationship, especially a Christian one, it's important to approach this touch with care and respect. A gentle touch on the wrist can be a subtle yet intimate way to express your affection without overstepping boundaries. For Christian couples, the wrist represents a space that is both intimate and respectful, where touch can convey tenderness, care, and admiration. It's not about rushing the relationship or trying to stir desire prematurely, but about showing genuine affection in a way that honors your partner and the values of your faith. A light touch on the wrist can be a moment of connection, a way to silently say, "I care for you deeply, and I want to cherish this moment with you." One of the most romantic and intimate ways to engage with the wrist is through a delicate kiss. This gesture is not about physical pleasure, but about creating a sacred moment of connection that feels both tender and meaningful. A soft kiss on the wrist can communicate your respect and admiration for her in a way words cannot fully express. For Christian women, this gesture can symbolize reverence and a deep respect for the relationship, both emotionally and spiritually. It's a way to cherish your partner while remaining within the boundaries of love that honors God's design for intimacy. When you kiss her wrist, it's not just a gesture of affection, but a way to convey a deeper meaning, one of trust, respect, and the promise of a love that is committed and unhurried. While the wrist is a delicate area, it's also one that can subtly suggest future intimacy should the relationship grow in that direction. The key, however, is to ensure that this touch remains respectful and doesn't overstep the boundaries of emotional intimacy. For Christian relationships, suggesting future intimacy through this touch is more about demonstrating a commitment to one another, showing that you're invested in building a deeper connection based on mutual respect and trust. It's not about rushing or forcing anything, but rather about allowing the relationship to develop naturally in a way that honors both your partner and your faith. By touching her wrist with respect, you're gently suggesting that your relationship has potential for growth, but you're also showing patience, knowing that true intimacy is built over time with mutual understanding and consent. As we conclude this journey through the art of touch, it's important to remember that the most powerful connection you can build with a Christian woman is emotional, not just physical. Touch, while meaningful, is only truly effective when it is rooted in genuine emotional intimacy. It's about making her feel heard, understood, and cherished in ways that go beyond physical gestures. Remember that the goal is not to manipulate or rush intimacy, but to create a sacred space where both partners feel safe, loved, and respected. Whether you are touching her hand, her lower back, or any other part of her body, always be mindful of how she responds. Respect her boundaries, honor her feelings, and ensure that every touch conveys your love and commitment, not just your physical desire.